Shalom, shalom. All right, this lesson is called the armor of God, and we're going to start with Zephaniah 1 and 8. We got to put on the full armor of God in these last days. Serious times are ahead of us. Serious times are occurring globally. The Most High is very merciful to his children that listen to him and follow what he says to do. So that's what we're going to aim to do. Okay. So we got to put on what? The armor of God. Okay. Armor of the Most High God. All right, let's start with Zephaniah 1 and 8.
Khan. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1 and verse 8. When everybody got to say Khan.
Con.
Khan.
Khan. And it shall come to pass in the day of Yahweh's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as Salaki and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
So the Most High is going to vex these leaders of these nations and all that such clothed with strange apparel, right? So normally when we read this, we talk about our, people aren't wearing fringes, I mean, that's strange apparel. And, that is true. So, but also people that are clothed with the garments of Babylon, you know what I mean? Meaning, not literally, right? But as far as trusting in this place, always aiming to uplift Babylon and all its merchandise. Okay. Like I said, not literally, figuratively speaking. So the armor of God, you're not necessarily putting on a breastplate and a helmet, when symbolically break down what it means to wear those things. Okay. But people are trusting in this nation, like it's going to one day just revive itself. Gas is going to go down to 99 cents. Bread's going to go down. The Most High is going to stop, vexing the chicken and the eggs and the bird flu and all these things that are happening right now. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? This place is on this downward spiral and it's not coming back. Okay. Let's go to Revelation 17 and verse 4. So we'll get into some of this strange apparel worn by symbolically the whore, which will be Babylon. Okay. In fact, let's go to Revelation 17, verse 18, so we know who the woman is.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 17 and verse 18. When everybody got to say Khan.
Con.
Khan.
Khan. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city, Salakia. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
So that's Babylon. Babylon reigns over the kings of the earth. Babylon tells everybody what to do. Babylon tells Iran they can't have a nuclear weapon. Trump got bamboozled and North Korea got their nuclear weapon, but Babylon's like the people that, it's like the country that people go to see, can we start a war? Can we do this? They're reigning over the kings. In Israel has such a big secret that they're not the real Jews. It seems like they're blackmailing America for that information because anything that they do, America has to go along with it. But of course, America has incentives for that because they don't have a whole lot of support in the so-called Middle East. And that's why, Israel has nuclear weapons and, they don't have to tell anybody about them. They get billions of dollars every year. So all these countries that oppress, and right now you see what's going on as far as the colleges and everybody standing up and speaking out against the bombing of the Palestinians. America's the one that's giving all the bombs. You know what I mean? Even though Anthony Blinken went to somewhere in Israel, I'm not sure where, but spoke with someone about, hey, you should give them more humanitarian aid. But at the same time, America is the one that's giving the bombs. So it's definitely something to look into because it's a hypocritical nation. We know this. All right, but that is the woman. Now let's go to verse 4. Oh, sure.
And this is verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
So America has got its money through oppression, murder, rape, robbery, enslaving people, destroying them and stealing their land and putting them on reservations. So America is very fruitful in that aspect. If you financially, if you have uh, millions of people work from sun up to sundown their entire lives, and then their children's lives, and then their children's lives for hundreds and hundreds of years, centuries, you're going to accumulate some wealth. And when you look at uh, the so-called founding fathers, and they discuss, wow, um, what's his name? Benjamin Franklin used to go back and forth from here to France, and he used to love to buy these expensive paintings and rugs and all this other stuff. Well, they got all their money through oppression. So it becomes pretty obvious that it was a whole bunch of negative things it took for America to get its financial wealth. Okay, let's go to Revelation chapter 18 and verse 11.
God, this is the book of Revelations, chapter 18 and verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
See, that this future prophecy right now, like Dollar Tree's closing. I believe it's Dollar Tree. Let me see. They're having some dollar stores closing. It's not like, they got high-end stores as far as like Louis Vuitton and all that. Let me see.
Dollar General.
Dollar General. Okay, Khan, Dwada. Dollar Generals are closing. Um, it was a video that somebody put out in Hollywood. I believe no, Hollywood, Beverly Hills. So they're looking at all these high-end stores and they were all closed. They all have for sale signs, for rent signs, and you know, stores that, the rich celebrities and people, producers or whatever that live in those areas most likely would normally be able to afford. But this is a downward spiral of America. It's not coming back. So this is prophecy unfolding before our eyes. So something as high end as, the Gucci store or whatever like that, down to the Dollar General, you know, where for the most part, I mean, it's a little bit more than $1 for some things, but it's through Chinese exports, a lot of affordable things in there, but it's still closing. So you can see from the top to the bottom, this place is over. Can you read verse 12?
God, verse 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all Diane wood, Salakia, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble.
So all these things um, are part of America, import, export. And you can see the collapse, with COVID. A lot of uh, ships were backed up. A lot of people lost a lot of money. They weren't able to go to work. And a lot of people haven't recovered necessarily from COVID. And now you have the Baltimore Bridge collapsing, which is really putting a damper on commerce. And they're having to go from normally, I guess the Baltimore Harbor can't go through there and got to go up to New Jersey. That's just time, and time is money when it comes to things like this. Let's go to St. Mark chapter 2, verse 21. So don't put on um, the garment of America. Like, for instance, Diddy would be somebody that, is decked in gold and scarlet and everything, made rich by United States. Now, is there anything wrong with being wealthy? Not necessarily. It's really what I say not necessarily, you know, there's people that have wealth that are able to help out people, and you know what I mean, instead of kind of hoarding it, like say like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is about to be a trillionaire, and there's people that didn't eat last night. You know what I mean? But there's celebrities like say Warwick Dunn that was building families housing, with his money. So, there's positive things you can do with that. All right. But Diddy, he said vote or die. You know what I'm saying? And he's literally bumping elbows with some of the worst people on the face of the planet, Hillary Clinton, Obama, people that have caused wars and death all across the world, you know. But it was something that was lucrative for him to, rub elbows with those people. But now, as you can see, it is backfiring. The Most High is requiring um a lot of you know, a lot of things that Diddy can't turn around. He can't turn this thing into a positive because the collapse. Okay. Let's bring that out. St. Mark chapter 2, verse 21.
Khan. This is the book of St. Mark, chapter 2, and verse 21. When you got it, say Khan.
Con,
Uh,
Khan.
None.
No man also seweth a piece of new cloth on an old garment, else the new piece that filled it up taketh away from the old, and the rent is made worse.
so it's just a saying, a dark saying to Yahweh Shai. You got an old piece of garment, you put a new piece, fill up a patch, the new piece could shrink and really make a bigger hole than before. He also talks about putting new wine in old bottles, so it's really the change. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to, you know, um, come into this truth and fall back on the old ways. Um, you don't want to, so to speak, put old wine in new bottles. You're a new creature in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We put on a new garment in this truth. Wearing the old one and just patching it up, it's gonna, it could backfire. If you put new wine in old containers, it could burst the old containers. Okay, so it's about changing. Now we have to do what? What we're going to replace our old garment with? What we're going to replace these old bottles with? Okay, putting on the armor of the Most High God. Okay, let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Especially we see what's going on. You know what I mean? Tornadoes. These tornadoes are unbelievable. Yahweh was talking about a new scale in the tornadoes, and I'm like, wow, I haven't heard that. You know what I'm saying? And come to find out, Yesterday it was something, it was a tornado in Oklahoma that was massive, huge. Let me see if I can find it. And they said this is something that they're gonna have to find out. They have to find a new scale to it's like they have to find a new scale of the old ones, the F1s to F5s. They're not gonna work. Slocky, give me a second so I can find it. So when you see this, tornado, or this radar of the tornado, you can just imagine. I don't think it hit everything. I mean anything, just the way the okay, give me 1 second. It didn't hit anything that was like really deep importance, right? Because all right, it's lucky, y'all. That's so difficult. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to come back to this. I don't know why I'm having such trouble. Oh, hold on. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right. So this is what's going on in the world. Nope. So that is a tornado, and it's a massive tornado. And that's why we need to put on the armor of God. I don't think anybody wants to see that. So they're saying, F5 is, what do you say with that? That's far beyond anybody's realm of comprehension of what a tornado should look like. Now, like I was saying, it didn't hit anything that was, largely populated. I don't know what Loveland is and Hollister. Oh, there's Chattanooga. Well, I don't know how long it was actually on the ground. You see the the swirl in the middle. Chattanooga's up here, Loveland, Hollister, right? But it doesn't seem like a whole lot of towns right in the middle. So we got to put on the whole armor of God so we don't have to see anything like that anytime soon. Okay, so let's go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Babakshah.
God, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and verse 10. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
John.
Khan. Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh and in the power of his might.
So we got to put all our strength in the Most High. His might is it's unmatched. We haven't seen the end of it. So that's who we need to depend on in these last days. Okay, be strong in the Most High God. Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Because the devil knows he has a short time. All right, let's go to Job 1 and 7. What does the devil do? What is his job? He's very efficient at his job. His people, being the Edomites, are also very skilled in being evil. And in order to stay away from people like this, we gotta cover ourselves. We gotta stay covered in these last days. But let's bring that out. Job chapter 1 and verse 7, Bubba Shaw.
Khan, this is the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 7. When you get it, say Khan.
Con,
Khan.
Khan.
Con.
And Yahweh said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered to Shalaki. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So that's what Satan does. His job is to, find people, accuse them, tempt them. That's his job. He's very good at it. So that's why we have to be covered in the armor of the Most High God. You know what I mean? We're not fighting celestial beings by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's a losing battle. All men sin, all men, women uh come short, you know what I mean, of the Most High and perfection. But perfection is being restored. So we got to aim to be perfect. Okay. Not saying we don't sin, but we got to be restored. We got to repent. We got to stay focused in these last days. Okay. And not let Satan win. Let's go to Revelation 12 and 12. Because he is Job 1 and 7. He just goes up and down, trying to find out, what, how to tempt you, how to trick you, um, you know, whisper lies in your ear, have you waking up on the wrong side of the bed, now you realizing you woke up this morning. It's a beautiful day to be alive, you know what I'm saying? But Satan is that person. I mean, Satan is an angel that knows us very well, and he will tempt us, and we have to have protection in these last days. Fasting, of course, is excellent protection against the wiles of the devil. All right. But let's bring that out. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12.
Khan, this is the book of Revelations, chapter 12 and verse 12. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
con,
Um,
Khan. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
so just like we um, are closely aligned, you know what I'm saying? We're made in image of, chosen by the Most High God. And there's Satan and Esau, the so-called white man is, his God is the devil. They dress up like the devil for Halloween, all the time. You know what I'm saying? They don't really hide anything. That's why you got the Duke Blue Devils, the New Jersey Devils. Anytime they get a chance, Tasmanian Devils. Anytime they get a chance, they're going to name, give allegiance to Satan. Okay, so on the planet, walking to and fro, you got these Edomites, and right now, Satan versus Satan, if you look at the videos and the college protests and uprisings, it's really much Esau dressed up like Palestinians. You know what I'm saying? They ain't home. It's not like it's a bunch of Palestinians. If there was nothing but Palestinians there, they would have dropped a bomb on these people that are camped out. They try to talk nice to them, saying, "Hey, can you guys stop? Go back to class. Can you do this?" They didn't listen because, it's Esau. Esau's like, "I'll do whatever I want." And we can see video after video of people getting slammed on their face, professors and all, because it's disrupting commerce, it's disrupting their economy, and making the school look bad. So what they call on the cops, say these people are trespassing, even though of course it's their First Amendment right. You know what I mean? Right? Free speech and assembly, but doesn't matter. So lately they've been getting Shalom. Lately, they've been getting slammed on their face and handcuffed, arrested, tear gassed, and all that. So it's Satan versus Satan. All right. That's one thing that's a beautiful thing to see. But we always got to keep in mind, we never know what this devil's really planning. You know what I'm saying? Of course, through dreams, visions, that brothers and sisters have, we can get insight. But we understand that it's a short time. All these things are going on for a reason. The signs in the sky and in the oceans, this time is speeding up. So keep in mind, Esau has tricks up his sleeve. We got to be prepared. Let's go back to Ephesians. All right. So we got to put on the whole armor of God. What is the whole armor of God? Okay. Let's go to Ephesians 6 and verse 12.
Con. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and verse 12. When you get it, say con.
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 Con. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
In high places. How high are these places? Let's go to the classic, Job 9 and 24. We got to find out, how high does this go up? Are we talking about, Hollywood execs? We talking about actors? Are we talking about the editors? Are we talking about the executive producers? We talking about who are we talking about here? How high does this go up? Does it stop with somebody like Diddy who's doing evil things? Or does it go further up the ladder? Quincy Jones, how far can we go up than that? Jimmy Iovine. So these people that, what's the other guy's name? Um, him and Dame Dash don't see eye to eye. Dame Dash can't stand this guy. Leor Cohen. Leor Cohen, who never rapped a day in his life, but made what, probably like billions of dollars off of rap music and putting out garbage music at that. How far does this go up? Let's go to Job chapter 9, verse 24.
Con. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, and verse 24. When you get it, say con.
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 Con. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
So the entire earth is given to the hands of the wicked. That's saying something. You know what I mean? And when you do look at, you don't have to go there, but when you go to Genesis 27 and verse 40, when it says this, talking about Esau, by the sword shall thou live, and who has access to these bombs and Boeing jets and fighter F-35s and all this other stuff. Massive carriers, warships that are so expensive that if just one of them could feed probably the entire planet, you know what I mean? It costs to make these things. But the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, all right? These Edomites. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4. So the people that are running the spiritual wicked environment of being a necromancer and talking to the dead and Ouija boards and all types of crystal mythology, enchantments, witchcraft. It's all based upon Esau and the Edomites. That's how they derive quote unquote their power. Okay, but the scriptures talk about in Isaiah, now go to your enchantments. Now, you know, it's gonna be a point in time where all that stuff stops. You know what I mean? And Slovakia. Okay. There's a point where all that stops. And it seems, you know, now's the interesting time period because you're having a lot of Edomite crime. They just said in UCLA, it's an unlawful assembly. If you look at the video before, let me see if I can find that. It looks like things are happening as, you know, as day goes on, we're seeing Esau fall apart. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me see.
Thank you very much. Now to our new.
Okay. I'm gonna share my screen. And look at this video. Look what Esau's going through right now.
News here at 8:02. Things got heated overnight at UCLA with demonstrators and counter demonstrators facing off near the growing encampment on campus.
Gigi Graciette is live in Westwood now with everything that happened.
Fair Use Act, Fair Use Act. It's a teaching moment, Fair Use Act.
Good morning, Gigi.
Good morning. Take a live look at the encampment, the Free Palestine encampment. All is quiet this morning. No sight of campus police. Once in a while, like behind me right now, a car drives by, but they're just standing down and hopefully hoping, I think, that everything will stay quiet. But it wasn't the case early this morning. Take a look. According to the Daily Bruin, that's UCLA's campus paper, around 60 pro-Israel demonstrators tried breaching the pro-Palestine encampment in Dixon Plaza late last night. They were using a bullhorn, alternating between talking and playing music. Now things got escalated, heated, when the Bruin reports that the demonstrators began fighting with each other. Campus police was seeing that, and in riot gear, they broke it all up. Now later, two other counter-protesters were reportedly chased off campus. And take a look at the encampment today. Everything again was quiet. You see all the Free Palestine signs there, a lot of signs. The encampment, there's cones protecting it, and nearby there is a
Slocky, that's not what I wanted. They really didn't show the video as Slocky. Let me cue it up.
Hey, Fox News alert happening right now. The LAPD is moving in on the UCLA campus after anti-Israel protests turned violent overnight. Brawls between
So they're not showing. You know why? Because the people that started these brawls were Israelis, the fake Jews. Okay, here we go. This is better. All right. Viewer discretion is advised. So clearly Esau's falling apart. All right, let's go to 2 Corinthians 4, verse 3. Oh, sure.
Khan, this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, and verse 3. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
Khan. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost,
Go ahead.
in whom Yahweh of this world hath blinded the minds of them.
Read, don't say Yahweh. Go ahead. Read
Khan.
God.
In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of them, Salakia, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahushai, who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
So that the God of this world isn't Yahweh, you know what I mean? The God of this world is Satan, you know what I mean? He runs the show right now, you know what I'm saying? The earth is given to the hands of the wicked, to be the spiritual demon Satan, and the Edomites are the physical counterpart of that on the planet. Okay. So that's who we're wrestling against. We're wrestling against the, some powerful um um angelic forces, um demonic forces, evil angels, okay, and a group of people on the planet that have access to unlimited amount of funds. They print the money, unlimited amount of bombs, guns, weapons, drones, whatever. You know what I mean? This is who we're fighting against. The top. Okay. So how do you fight a group that pretty much doesn't lose? You know what I mean? Um, you got to put the Most High first. When I say doesn't lose, meaning, say like in Vietnam, for instance, a lot of people say that America lost the war in Vietnam, but was the war in Vietnam meant to be won? We got to ask questions like that. Was it meant to be, or just sustained? It was certain things you couldn't chase the enemy into a certain line. As soon as the line is crossed, then you got to stop pursuit. And of course, if your enemy knows that, it's very difficult to win a fight like that, win a war. So just like, the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq, people are saying like America have lost these wars, but they're not meant to, they could have just nuked them. You know what I mean? Um, in Afghanistan, they were taking poppy seeds out of the fields and making heroin and oxycontin and, all types of drugs and making billions of dollars in pharmaceutical companies and on the streets. So you don't want to go in there and just destroy the people and then, got to leave. What's the point of that? So they would do things like have them looking in caves, and just putting it on CNN and, making it look nice for the people. But they were just siphoning drugs. And in Iraq, they were siphoning oil, still siphoning oil from Syria. And I believe in Iraq too. They have a military base, $1 billion base in Iraq. You can't just blow them up and then leave. No, you got to open up your $1 billion base. All right. So realistically, America doesn't take a lot of losses in war. All right. So how do you fight somebody that was given the sword to rule? By putting on the whole armor of God. And we'll see what that is. Okay. Let's go back to Ephesians. So when you see like the little g, you know they're not talking about the Most High God. You know, it says we are gods, you know, but we're not the big G. You know what I'm talking about?
Con,
Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 13.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 13. When you get it, say con.
Con.
Huh.
Con. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand.
You know, putting it all on the table. You know what I mean? Let's go to 2 Peter 1 and 10. We gotta put it all on the table. Okay. That evil day, you know, like Amos says, what is the end of the, you know, paraphrasing, what's the end of the world to you? You know, what's that day to you? It's darkness and not light, you know. It we can only imagine the things that's gonna go on during Jacob's trouble, when people don't, you know, you see now people are still on, they're on edge, you know what I'm saying? Driving, cutting people off, you know, road rage. Imagine when there's no food. Imagine when all the lights are out. Imagine when the toilet doesn't flush. Imagine when all these things happen, how people are going to react. And a lot of people have guns. So, you know, it talks about neighbor going in a neighbor's house. You know, that's a day that is coming soon to America. You know, I I always try to emphasize praying about it now, trying to get ahead of it now, you know, as far as getting ahead of it, meaning like having angels camped around you, meaning having protection in these last days. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, you know, just not twiddling our thumbs until the day comes and then it's like, oh God, let me start to pray. No, aim ahead, do it now, you know. So it don't catch you off guard, you know what I mean? And you know, ask the Most High to protect you, protect your family, you know. So when that day happens, um, you know, you will have a level of protection, um, hopefully on its way, you know what I mean? Or have that level of protection around you currently, and then when it happens, you know, boom, you know, you're not just waiting to pray. Okay, let's bring that out. 2 Peter 1 verse 10.
Con. This is the book of Second Peter, chapter 1 and verse 10. When you get it, say con.
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 Con. Wherefore, the matter, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail.
Con.
So,
So make your election sure. Okay. Um, putting it all on the table, you know what I mean? Betting it all that the Most High is going to protect us, that He's going to have our back, having a faith, and not just blind and hope, not just blind hope, but the hope that, you know, in these scriptures, you know what I'm saying? That's our hope. It's not just, you know, oh, let's hope. Hope for what? Hope that these prophecies occur for our benefit, you know, that we'll be getting a crown rather than depart from me, you never knew me. But depart from me, I never knew you. Okay. Let's go back to Ephesians. All right. So what it comes down to, this fight is against the, you know, it's the you know, like like a video game, like the last boss in the video game is like the toughest, the strongest, the fastest, the, you know, the harder for him to die. You know, that's pretty much what we're into. You know what I mean? We're in a fight against an enemy that knows us very well. You know what I'm saying? From Satan to the Edomites here on the ground. You know, they watch us. You know, they watch the videos and you know through Edward Snowden brought out that through the cell phones, through the computers, they watch. So they know, they have access to our Facebooks, our social medias. They know what music we like and don't like. We know what we love, we heart, we kind of like, that gets us upset, makes us sad. They have a nice profile just off Facebook alone um, about us. Okay, so with that in mind, we need the Most High to protect us. Okay, as always. Let's bring that back. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 14.
Khan, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 14. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
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 Khan. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on a breastplate of righteousness.
Cool. Okay, so our loins girt with truth and a breastplate of righteousness. Let's get Psalm chapter 119 and verse 142. We'll start with truth. All right. Loins girt up your loins like a man, Most High says. Okay. So how do we gird up our loins? With truth. Okay, let's bring that out. Psalm chapter 119, verse 142.
Khan, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 42. When you got it, say Khan.
142.
Salakia. The book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 142. When you got it, say Khan.
Con.
Con.
Khan.
Con.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Con. So what's the truth that we're girding up with? The law. Keeps us together, keeps us on the up and up. We need the law. Okay, so it's what starts off with what we're going to gird up our loins with, the law, because the law is the truth. Now let's get that breastplate of righteousness, because the breastplate, some people call it a chest plate, interchangeable. In a war, this is a very important area. You know what I'm saying? You have your heart, you got your lungs. This is something you have to protect. You know what I'm saying? If you're in hand-to-hand combat, somebody gets you here, it's a wrap. You got your solar plexus right here. Somebody can punch you hard in the solar plexus and kill you. So why is that important? We got to find out what righteousness is. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. Give me 1 second before you read that. All right, and I was reading 2 Corinthians. If our, it's hid, the Satan can hide this from people. Oh, sorry, my phone froze. Satan will distract you, and we shouldn't be distracted. Others that are distracted and can never grasp this concept, the Most High knows who he wants. So if he's not waking them up, that's apparently he's not choosing them. But the message is out there, the word is out there, whether they grasp it or not. A lot of people, I say this before, people are pretending to be asleep. You know what I mean? For the most part, I'm not saying everybody, but we talk to a lot of people that are like, yeah, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're an Israelite. Yeah, no, I don't care. They say they're Muslim. You know what I mean? Like, my nationality is a Muslim. Like, that's not a nationality. It's like, well, for me, it is. So it's not like they don't know. It's like they reject it. You know what I'm saying? So not having the truth, the law, righteousness in these last days, they're subject to anything. You know what I mean? Crash dummies, so we can't be nowhere near that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? Is that type of energy is very dangerous. Okay. Let's bring that out. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25.
Khan, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
Con.
Khan. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our Yahweh, as he commanded us.
So doing all the commandments is righteousness. You know what I mean? Following what the laws say is righteousness. Now, a simple Christian will say, you need truth and you need righteousness. And like you tell them what truth is, you tell them what righteousness is, and they believe it's like just being good, just be a good person. But that's literally, first of all, there's only one person that's good. It's the Most High. But aiming to be, that example, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, the prophets of old, aiming for that example is our aim for perfection. It says, be perfect, for I'm perfect. Your Father in heaven is perfect. So we aim in that direction. How do we get there? You can't just leave it as I'm good, or I'm trying, I'm this, that, and the third. Everybody's trying, but what do you have that was set up from jump to give you an outline, give you a way of doing things, the law, statutes, and commandments. So what's the truth? What's the breastplate of righteousness? Laws and commandments. Okay, let's go back to Ephesians. Okay, so, and of course it says the Most High is our shield and buckler, our spear, stopping people from far away from getting us. A buckler, close combat, jabbing back, and a shield, stopping all attacks. So from defense and offense, following the law, statutes, commandments, that's a fight, and we're in a fight at the top. This is how we fight. We talk about this all the time. If we can just get the Israelites, the 40 million people, men, women, and children, allegedly, right, in America, to stop buying on the Sabbath and selling on the Sabbath and working on the Sabbath, the economy would collapse faster than it is now. But the more people that are waking up, they're like, oh, I can't work on the Sabbath. Oh, I can't go to the mall on a Saturday. It's very dangerous. This is one of the most dangerous places in the world to go. You know what I'm saying? It would be a mall on a Saturday, because, how many times have we been in class and get a text message like, oh, wow, mass shooting here, mass shooting there, you know what I mean, in these malls. Shouldn't be there anyway, up in Buffalo, when the, I think it was like a Dollar General or something like that, whatever store that was, where Jake, there was nothing but Jake there, you know what I mean, except for the one Edomite that I seen that he pointed the gun at and said, oh, sorry, because he's like, I'm just here to kill Jake. And, we say that guy's a racist, he's a terrible person, and most rightfully so, he is. But of course, a grocery store. And he's a terrible person, of course he is. But he's the sword of the Most High. Most High say, you guys are sinning, people gotta go. Dawada, Tops grocery store. All right. So if we can stay out of those places, days, oh, sorry, my eyes itching. Stay out of those places during the Sabbath, this place will collapse. Okay. We continue to go in those places on the Sabbath, it's gonna be another mass shooting. Just the way it is. Okay. That's how the Most High intended to be. That's how it is. All right. Now let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 15.
Khan, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 15. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
Con.
Khan. And your
Con.
feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Con. His feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. What's the gospel of peace? Let's go to Job chapter 5, verse 24. You know, peace is attainable. You know, peace is going to be it's going to be a beautiful everlasting peace, you know what I mean? Our enemies are under our boots, you know what I'm saying? Right now, of course, they're in rulership, so there's no peace for the wicked, but we can get, we can get our peace here on this side, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's, we're still under these curses. There's nothing, there's no dodging the curses. You're still going to see them outside your window. You're still going to experience them because we're in these fleshly bodies and we all fall short. But we have to put peace in our minds, preparation of peace. Okay, let's go to Job 5 and 24.
Khan, this is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 24. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
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 Khan. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shalt not sin.
Staying away from peace will give us, I'm slacking. Staying away from sin can give us peace in our habitation, you know what I mean, in our tabernacle, which could be, our dwelling place or just peace of mind internally. You know what I'm saying? When you're in sin, you don't feel at peace. You're, you're looking around the corner. You know what you're doing is wrong, right? So at this point, you know what I mean, being an Israelite and reading, you know what's willfully sinning. So when you're in the midst of sin, you're not at peace. It's hard to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You're tiptoeing, you're walking on eggshells. You never know if the Most High is going to judge you now or later. You know what I'm saying? Because wicked deeds, Salakia, paraphrasing, is not immediately reprimanded, then feel we can just do whatever we want, but knowing that it's coming. All right, so that leaves us away from our peace. All right, let's go back to Ephesians. All right, so not sinning is in the preparation for peace. You know what I mean? Keeping it together as much as possible in this wicked kingdom, Babylon. Okay. Let's go back to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 16.
Khan, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 16. When you get it, say Khan.
Con.
Con.
Khan. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
Con. So a shield of faith. What's faith? You know what I mean? Faith, the definition of faith in the scriptures, you can look at Hebrews 11. But let's go to Matthew 23. Something else I wanted to talk about as far as faith goes and why it's so important. All right. Because now the shield of faith that's blocking these attacks, right? We gotta have faith that the Most High God hears us, that the Most High God is listening to us. The Most High God will protect us. If you don't have faith, it's, we're not standing on any solid ground, right? Because, you pray and then I'll give you an example. Some Israelites, you know, their main thing is they're like, yeah, we're Israelites, but I need 400,000 rounds of ammunition so I can feel safe. You know, I need a gun in every room. You know, when I'm in the shower, I have my gun with me. You know what I mean? I go to sleep with two guns underneath the pillows. Like, okay, he said you got faith. You know what I mean? But you're missing the bigger picture. You know, and like I said, I'm not anti-gun. I'm anti-only gun. Like the main thing about a lot, I don't say a lot, but some people's ministry is firearms, you know, and weaponry. Okay. They want people, you know, some people in particular, they talk a lot about camps, you know, oh, if your camp doesn't have a bug out shelter that can save you from a nuclear holocaust, then you need to leave that camp. And if your camp doesn't have if you don't go shooting at least 4 times a week, then you got to get out of that camp. They're setting you up and blah blah blah. But you know, the minute I'll give you an example too, also, right? I believe it was an Edomite. I'm almost certain it was an Edomite, right? But it was a story how this guy had a 357 Magnum, like an AR-15. He had like 4 or 5 guns, right? And you know, one was stolen from like a hit, or I don't know if it was stolen, but it was used in a hit from you know, a biker gang or whatever. And this kid was like 16, 17 years old, whatever, with this type of weapons. Um, he he went to the bathroom, right? And when he came back, I think he was in the shower. And when he came out, the police were there. And he was like, wow, I believe it was a shower. It was somewhere where he wasn't by his bed. And he said, man, you guys are lucky I'm not by my bed. And when he went to his bed, they saw all those guns. So he was ready to go to war with the cops, but he wasn't by the guns. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that you're just going to be sitting there by your guns all day long, you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to do anything. You know what I mean? You know, without them, you know, you're depending on the gun. You have faith in the firearm. You don't have faith in the Most High God. You don't have faith that angels encamp around you because you fear God. You know, so I say that to say, like I said, I'm not anti-guns. Yeah, you don't, you know, just all the time talking about the guns, talking about the guns. You got to wear a book bag with 300 pounds of bullets in them. You know what I mean? You have all these bullets, but you're not going to carry that with you. You know, it's mind-boggling that these brothers read the scriptures, but they don't really um you know, put it in their mind and put it in their heart, put it to their heart. You know what I mean? And their thoughts that God's going to protect me. You know, this gun is just a extra. You know what I mean? But I digress. Let's go to Matthew chapter 23, verse 23, because we got to figure out how to shield against these fiery darts.
God, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 23. When you get it, say Khan. Khan. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
Okay. The weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. Faith is of the law. Let's go to let's go to Exodus 19. All right, so we got to believe these scriptures. We got to have faith that this is true. You know, as far as paintings go, we have archaeology. You know what I mean? Paintings on the walls, and you know, in the pyramids over there in Egypt. Okay, you can see the Israelites carrying straw and having to make the brick, and you know what I mean, being enslaved in the land of Egypt. Okay, we can see these things, right? But people will tell you in a heartbeat, man, oh, you believe the Bible? That was written by William Shakespeare back in 1200, da 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 da. You know, you believe in you know, that somebody's gonna crack open the sky, God's gonna crack open the sky and save you, you know. So people really try their best to dismiss the scriptures, all right? But we gotta have faith. It's important. It's written. All right, so let's go to Exodus chapter 19 and verse 3.
God, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 3. When you get it, say Khan.
God.
Uh,
Khan. And Moses went up unto Yahweh, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel,
Go ahead.
Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagles' wings, and brought you unto myself.
You see what you see how, you know, he saved us out of the land of Egypt, saved us out of captivity, right? Go ahead.
Khan. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
You know what I mean? First thing is, right, we got to obey his voice, keep his covenant, and we be special unto the Most High God above all people. Go ahead.
And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Kingdom of priests, the holy nation, a separate nation, you know. Kingdom of priests, you know, brings out the words of the Most High God, interprets the Most High God. God protects people like that, right? God protects those of us that aim to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. You know, the 2/3 that have nothing to do with this, that want to be, you know, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, whatever like that, they don't have that level of protection. And you can see in these last days how they're getting chopped down. It's blatantly obvious, okay? But what we gotta do, we gotta obey the Most High's voice, right? Go ahead.
Khan. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before
Verse 6.
Salaki. Y'all read verse 6. You want me to read it again?
Khan.
Salaki. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. And these are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him.
Read that again.
Khan. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him.
Because Moses is hearing from the top, right? Of course, you know, nobody's heard his voice, you know what I mean? But obviously his representative is given straight from the top to Moses. Okay, so continue on with verse 8.
Khan. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord hath spoken we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto Yahweh.
Because remember, when the people were messing up, they're like, yo, we'll talk to you, Moses. We don't want to talk to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if you're not on point, then, you know, he'll destroy you. You know what I'm saying? You get struck by lightning. Okay. So he's going back and forth, like giving messages and returning messages. All right, go ahead with verse 9.
Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto Yahweh.
So believing, you know what I'm saying? To believe, these are the words. Moses is talking to, getting instructions from God. Okay. We got to believe it. We got to have faith that these words are true. Okay, because we weren't there. You know what I mean? Our ancestors were there, and they could see the thundering. They could see, the ground shaking and everything at this time. Our ancestors could see these things, right? But us now, we have to believe in the scriptures. We have to have faith that these things are happening. You know what I mean? You're blessed if you can have faith in these words without seeing. You know what I mean? Like Paul. When Paul got the his wake up call on his way to Damascus, he wasn't walking with Yahushua. You know what I mean? But he experienced these things and it uplifted his faith. He was there when Stephen was killed and parted his clothes. So he was on the other side, do sacrifices and everything, but he, got opened up by Yahushua, literally, you know what I mean, blinded and everything. And was able to have faith. And as you can see, he just started doing the work, you know what I mean? Writing letters and visiting and edifying and doing all these things. Okay. So that faith is crucial in these last days. Go ahead, Yash, got your hand up.
No disrespect to you, Adawan, or anybody else who's on the call, but when you come on the call, can everybody please mute your phone? Sawada, all praises.
It's definitely a distraction. All right. You unmute your phone, you can hear everything in the background. Okay. Let's go. Now where were we?
Verse 10.
What was that? Verse 9?
Verse 10.
What's that? Slocky, say that again.
I stopped at verse 10.
Oh, okay. You can drop that. Let's go back to Ephesians. So we got to believe these words. We weren't there. You know what I'm saying? Well, through the regeneration we were, but as far as what we can remember in this lifetime, we didn't see these amazing things. We got to believe that it happened. Now we can see the prophecies unfolding. So it adds on to our belief. It adds on to our faith. Like, wow, look at this. Imagine, I always think back to like when Elder Zabak and Elder Terrell were, on the corners, telling people, yo, you got to repent, God's coming back. You know what I mean? You repent, you get saved by the chariots, the so-called UFOs in the sky. And they're like, you guys are crazy, because America has conditioned the whole country actually to believe that chariots aren't real, UFOs aren't real, swamp gas, those are your imaginations. Other countries, not so much, because they have history, and you could go into the walls and the caves and see drawings of them, and they don't try to necessarily oppress their people as much as Americans. Not saying there's no oppression, but as much as Americans. So hearing that, we could automatically think that, these guys are crazy. But they had faith. They knew what they were saying was real. They knew it was saying it would be one day people would find out that it's the truth. And then now the US government says it's true. So it's true. You know what I mean? So, standing alone, and having faith is crucial in these last days. And our elders are a example of that. Okay. Let's bring that out. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 17. believe we're at. Yes, Khan.
Con. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 17. When you get it, say con.
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 Khan.
Con. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh.
Khan. So let's find out what the helmet of salvation. What is the helmet of salvation? Let's go to Slakia. Let's go to First Chronicles, chapter 16. Slakia 16 and verse 35. First Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 35. When you got it, you can bring it out.
Con. This is the book of First Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 25.
35, Slakia.
35. Salakia. This is the book of First Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 35. When you get it, say con.
Con.
Con. And say ye, save us, O Yahweh, of our salvation, and gather us together, and deliver us from the heathen, that we may give thanks to thy holy name, and glory and praise.
So the salvation that we're talking about is safety, deliverance. You know, that's our salvation. You know what I mean? It's the God of our salvation. The Most High God will deliver us. The Most High God will keep us safe. You know what I mean? And with that, helmet, what's a helmet? A helmet's protecting your brain. You know what I'm saying? Somebody hits you just right in your head, you can be messed up for life. You know, it can most certainly kill you. So you need that safety. You need that deliverance. Of course, being able to hear the signs, hear the little whisper that the Most High will give you. You know what I mean? In certain situations, like intuition. You're sitting there at a party or something. Well, not in the world, but we'll go with you're at the mall, right? You're at the mall. It's not the Sabbath, or you're somewhere out in public, and something just tells you, man, something ain't right. It's time to go. You can see maybe something unfolding, right? You start to see a little argument throwing up, and everybody's looking. People are getting out their phone, and you're like, you know what? Something's not right. I'm gonna leave. You know what I mean? You get that feeling in your stomach, in the pit of your stomach, or a little whisper, and you leave, and then a shooting occurs, or a huge melee, riot, whatever, that of course you didn't want to be a part of, and you listen to that inner voice. Some people call you intuition, you know what I mean? But it's obviously everything's given from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Some people, of course, their intuition, if they have darkness in them, you know what I mean? A lot of darkness, then their whisper might say, hey, take out your phone and record like everybody else around them, But if here you are, you're putting on you gird up your loins with truth, your boots of peace, you know what I'm saying? Your breastplate of righteousness, you know what I'm saying? You're dressed in the whole armor of the Most High God. So that helmet, that voice that's like, leave, you can trust in, that intuition, but if you ain't got a breastplate, you ain't got no shoes, you know, a piece, you know, you're always running to mischief, always running to the fights, always running with your phone out, always running to see some violence or something like that, then, you know, that safety might elude you. Okay. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 13. Psalm chapter 13 and verse 5, Baba Shah.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 13 and verse 5. When you get it, say con.
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 Khan.
Con. But I have trusted in thy mercy. My heart shall rejoice in thy salvation.
Khan, and trusting in the Most High's mercy, you know, putting on, you know, faith and the law and the commandments and peace, you know what I mean? And be able to trust in the mercy of the Most High. He's going to be merciful towards me. I aim to please him. And part of this deal, if you will, you know what I mean, the covenant, you know what I mean? You do what you're supposed to do, and I got you. I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to make sure you all right. I'm going to make sure you good. I've never seen the righteous begging bread. You know what I'm saying? It's when we separate from the Most High God. It's when we figured, I ain't got to do all this. What, a new moon again? I mean, it's every month. I did it last month. You know what I'm saying? Fringes, I don't. It doesn't match with my pants, so I'm gonna wear this. You know what I'm saying? When we start making concessions, and um you know, we start dipping out of the law little by little. You know what I'm saying? That's when we fall into trouble. That's when we fall into the other nations. Oh, what are they doing over there? I always wanted to go to Mecca. You know, what it would be like to walk around a rock 7 times. I'm sure it'd be a spiritual experience. No, you're literally walking around a rock 7 times. I mean, might feel spiritual since you're about to pass out since it's so hot, but that doesn't make it, you know, of the Most High God. And that doesn't make it spiritual. It makes it that you know, you're dehydrated. Okay. So we got to trust in the mercy of the Most High. We got to trust in his protection, trust in his deliverance. Okay, so let's go to Isaiah 12. Isaiah 12. Slakia. Isaiah 12 and verse 2.
Con. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 12 and verse 2. When you get it, say con.
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 Con. Con. Behold, Yahweh is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He also is become my salvation.
Con. We all know this New J in the Hebrew language, so he's talking about the Lord, for the Lord Yahweh is my strength, right? So what is this saying? That's the Most High. The Most High is our salvation. The Most High is our deliverance. Our Most High is our safety. You know, we put it all on the Most High. It doesn't say my 9mm is my salvation. You know, it doesn't say my AR-15 is my salvation. It's got to put that out there because I'm not anti-gun. But as long as you got the Most High God and you got a chariot parked outside your house, you're good. You know what I'm saying? You're probably gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So now it's when the Most High flees from us because of our sin. You know, one thing we gotta make sure we stay away from that. Okay, we need peace. We need the boots of peace, not to have the sin and have ourselves running all over the place. Okay. So what does the scripture say? God is my salvation. We'll trust in God, not be afraid. Okay, we fear God, not fear what man can do to us. All right, now let's go to, like it says, the helmet of our salvation. Now let's go to the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Let's go to start with St. John 1:1. All right, so that helmet's crucial. Helmet's safety, that helmet's deliverance, trusting in the Most High. He delivers from our enemies and from the heathens, because, they have access to drones and bombs and all these, uh, amazing weaponry. But you see, like in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, God will use them against them. That's what's happening right now in college campuses. They're kicking the crap out of each other. Talk about a collapse of society. If these kids don't graduate, you know what I mean? Who's going to pay those student loans? Um, it's a catch-22. You want them to stop, but they want them to come back to school. Hold on, we're going to pay tuition. We're supposed to be the best of the best at Harvard and University of Pennsylvania, and where else was it? UCLA, all these prestigious colleges, and it's kind of no more school. They say you can go home now. You know, uh, we'll see what we do next year. You know what I mean? It's making it's causing a damper in their finances and the finances of America as a whole. So it is what it is. All praise to the Most High. Let's bring that out. St. John chapter 1, verse 1.
Khan, this is the book of John, chapter 1 and verse 1. When you get it, say Khan.
Khan.
God,
Uh,
Khan. In the
Khan.
beginning, Khan. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was Yahweh.
So the Hebrew for God would be Elohim, right? So that's God, Christ, and the angels. So in this situation, the word was with God. The word was with the Most High, and the word was God. The word was power. Okay, Elohim. Okay, so Christians use this and like, see, God and uh, Christ and God are the same people. They're not. They're obviously two different people, and you know, the Yahweh is the word of God. Let's go to Hebrews chapter. Let me see if I want. 1 second. Hebrews, I believe 10. Con. Hold on. Hebrews 4 and 12, Bubba Shar.
Khan. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 12. When you get it, say Khan.
God,
Khan. Khan.
Con.
Khan. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing sunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
Con. So this book is very spiritual. It's a very spiritual book. You can open up to any random page, and it's what the Most High God wants you to know. Like it's very deep. You know what I mean? And it is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the hearts. You know what I mean? You could be reading the scriptures and the way you react to some things, you know what I mean? It might be something you need to work on more, or something you never thought about. You know what I mean? Discern something completely different that put some thoughts into your mind that could be beneficial, or like I said, something you could work on. So it's like two-edged sword. You know what I mean? It's cutting you, and it's if you reading it to somebody, it's cutting them and cutting you at the same time. Okay, let's go to Hebrews 10 and 7. And how do we get that type of salvation? How do we get blessed? We'll say blessed is those that read. You got to read. You got to go through these scriptures. You got to learn about your history, learn about the prophecies, learn about the future. It's a lot, right? But consistency is the key. All right, consistency. You're not going to get it all in one day. Our elders a box, like, man, I'm still learning stuff. I might have read the scripture a million times. Now I read it now in this day and age or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, another a deeper level of understanding. And he's been in this I think for 30 years. So it's ever, I don't say ever necessarily evolving. It's you're always, there's always something to learn. Okay, it's not the destination, it's the journey. Okay, let's go to Hebrews chapter 10, verse 7, Bubba Shaw.
Khan, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 7. When you get it, say Khan.
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 Then said I, Salaki. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Yahweh.
Khan. So Yahweh Shai, like it says, in the volume of the book, it's written, you know what I mean? That he's the word of God. Okay, he's the embodiment of the law, perfect. Something we should strive, a person that we should strive to be like, you know what I mean? You can do it, with this flesh, we fall short, of course, but that doesn't mean we don't try. We got to try, you know what I'm saying? So, reading these scriptures, having your mind set on the law, statute, and commandments makes it easier to do the right thing as opposed to not reading at all. And I'm sure everybody can attest to this. If you go, say, a week without reading, or even a couple of days without reading, you start to feel it. You know what I mean? Like something's wrong, something's not right, and your body starts being affected. Your mind starts being affected by that. So this is why it's so important to read these scriptures. You know what I mean? Go through a couple chapters, go through more, you know what I mean? Read till you feel better. You know what I mean? You feel down in the dumps, read Job and see, my goodness, this was, he had it bad. He had it rough, but he endured. You know what I'm saying? He endured even his so-called friends was, ripping into him. Oh, you had to be something you did and all this other stuff. So, it's definitely a good book of perseverance and moving forward. All right. That's just one example, but there's plenty of examples in here that, matter of fact, let's go to, well, matter of fact, we don't got to go there, but the scriptures are for what? Inspiration, reproof, you know what I mean? Helping us out. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go there. 2 Timothy's. Slovakia. Because there's reasons behind these scriptures. So it'll be 2 Timothy's 3 and 16. Bubba Shaw.
Khan, this is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 16. When you get it, say Khan.
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 Khan. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
So all scripture is given for those reasons, you know what I'm saying? And build you up, you know what I mean? Give you a newfound thought on, a way you never thought about, you know what I'm saying? And instruction and righteousness, so how to get the righteousness, you get your instruction manuals right here. Go ahead, read verse 17.
Con, verse 17, that the man of Yahweh may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
To all good works, aiming for that perfection. Okay. So let's go to Psalm chapter 40. Couple more scriptures, y'all. Couple more scriptures. So we got to put on this whole armor. We got to put on this whole armor of the Most High God to fight. We're going to fight for our lives. We're going to fight for our families. We're going to fight for our community. We're fight for, our ancestors. Just a lot is compassed into this walk. You're not just doing this, of yourself. You know what I'm saying? The things they did to the apostles, the way they died, were horrific. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's the same people, the same Edomites that were putting our ancestors to death, putting our recent ancestors to death. So putting on a whole armor and getting into this fight is crucial. Okay. Let's go to Psalm chapter 40 and we'll start verse 8. Verse 7.
Con, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 40, starting at verse 7. When you get it, say con.
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 Then said I, lo, I come, in the volume of the book. It is written of me,
Con, go ahead.
I delight to do thy will, O Yahweh. Yea, thy law is within my heart.
God's laws within his heart, right? So is he talking about himself? Now, don't forget, David was a prophet, right? He was a king, he was a prophet, he's a warrior. I mean, he compassed a lot in this, just shepherd, in one person, right? But of course, he was a prophet. He prophesied about the things that would happen to Yahweh. Yahweh Shai before they happen. And that's one reason it's a curveball for a lot of Old Testament Israelites who don't believe in Yahweh Shai. Like, oh, everything that was talked about is talking about David. They believe everything's David. Okay, but this didn't happen to David. Let's go to Psalm chapter 22. You know, they it's hard for them to grasp the fact that David was a prophet, and when he was speaking, he was prophesying. In a lot of instances, okay? That's what prophets do. All right, so we're going to get to Psalm chapter 22, verse 16.
Con, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 22 and verse 16. When you get it, say con.
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 Con. For the dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet.
Never happened to David. Nobody, I wish somebody would pierce David's hands and his feet. He was a stone cold killer. You know what I mean? When Yahweh Shai was here, he said, hey, you think I can't get legions of angels to help me? You know what I mean? Of course he could have, but if he prayed to the Most High, but he was meant to be a sacrifice unto the children of Israel to bring them back in the great good graces of Yahweh, as a mediator. You know what I mean? He conquered death, walked on this earth, you know what I mean? Blameless as a lamb without blemish, and sacrificed himself for us. Something we got to keep in mind. So that's a amazing thing. All right, let's go back to Ephesians. Oh, God died for Yahweh Shai died for everybody. No. The lost tribes, the house of Israel. That's what he came back for, and that's what he was dealing with. All right, so the last few verses, the last verse in Ephesians would be Ephesians 6 and 18.
Con. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and verse 18. When you get it, say con.
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 Con. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
So praying is crucial. Okay, let's go to James 5 and 16. Prayers and notice how it came after all this, right? The faith and the peace, the law, the commandments, all these things, it came after that because anybody can pray. You know what I mean? Does that mean the Most High hears those prayers? You know, with a belly full of pork, knowing that it's wrong, you know, because the Most High winks at our ignorance. You'd probably say, oh, when I was eating pork, God was still listening to me, this, that, and the third, because he knew he was going to wake you up. You know what I mean? Give you the crumbs to get to where you are. You know what I'm saying? And I know now that you know the name of Yahweh, you know the name of Yahweh Shai, it feels like those prayers are spot on. You know what I'm saying? So you get somebody that's willfully sinning, eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, not wearing fringes, not treating their brother as themselves, um, doing everything contrary to the scriptures, and then praying for help and assistance in these last days. Doesn't work that way. That's why it says it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth, because people are going to be praying. They're going to say, "Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. I don't know you people." You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go to James chapter 5 and 16. Bogashar.
Con. This is the book of James, chapter 5, and verse 16. When you get it, say con.
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 Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
So being righteous is what? Following the commandments, right? So being a righteous man, that prayer, it's going to talk about, it pierces the clouds. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus, Salakia 35, verse 17. All right. That prayer, that, you know what I mean, you got emotion behind it, you know. You have faith that's going to come true. You know what I'm saying? And being a righteousness, you know, your righteousness following the law, statutes, commandments, particularly what we're commanded to do, and now access. Okay. And that's really, at this point where we're at, that's an amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? Without Yahushua coming back, when he comes back, his you know, pretty much the prize is with him, paraphrasing. Okay, his reward is with him. But on this side of the flood, this side of the flood of thermonuclear destruction, having the Most High hear our prayers, you know, is you know, what more can you ask for? All right, let's bring that out. Ecclesiasticus 35 and 17.
Con. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, in the Apocrypha, chapter 35 and verse 17.
Slack, you start at 16.
Con. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, 35 and 16. When you get it, say con.
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 Con. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the cloud.
All right. So you got to, of course, serve the Lord, and your prayers reach up into the clouds. Go ahead.
Verse 17. The prayer of the humble pierceth the cloud. Until it come nigh, he will not be confounded, and will
Comforter.
not be
Slakia.
Salakia, and will not depart, till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment.
Time. So humble, to be humble, to have the feet of peace, gird up your loins with truth, with the law, breastplate of righteousness, helmet of salvation, okay? The sword of the spirit of the Lord, the word of the Lord, right? Scriptures, and then you pray, you know. That's the armor of the Most High God. We got to put that on. It's something that we daily should strive to do better. You know what I mean? Always increasing. And with that, that's our fight, you know. Fasting like tonight, you know what I mean? Or, you just don't have to fast tonight. You could fast, you could have fast yesterday, you could fast the day after that. But this is just, the HOI group fast, fasting together, getting the spirits away from us. And in these last days, if we're all putting on the armor of the Most High God and moving forward instead of always going backwards, increasing instead of always decreasing, we're going to be able to fight this battle. Okay. We're going to get that protection that we so desire, that helmet of salvation, that deliverance, that safety. And then praying, prayer pierces the clouds. What more can you ask for? All right. So these are the last days. It's time to do more instead of less and watch the sparks fly. Kom Yashala, we got next. All right. Shalom.